Hello dear students, I welcome you all on this e-learning platform of KRT Arts, BH Commerce, AM Science College, popularly known as KTHM College Nasik. I am Kanchan Bakul, working as an assistant professor in the Department of English. This video session is for the students of MA Part 2, semester's 3rd, and today we are going to deal with the subject World Literature in English, course paper number 3.8. The topic that we are going to discuss is unit number 2, poetry. We are going to learn General Prologue written by Geoffrey Chaucer. This is part 2, second lecture about Geoffrey Chaucer. Before I start, I would like to discuss what we have learnt in part 1. We have discussed general background of medieval period, which is also known as period of Chaucer, as Chaucer was a prominent author of the period. We have also discussed literary characteristics of the period, biography of Geoffrey Chaucer, and we have got a general idea about general prologue. In today's video session, we are going to learn introductory part of general prologue. It's line number 1 to 42, where Chaucer has provided a certain introduction to his prologue, and in that 42 lines he has explained the purpose of pilgrims and other important aspects. After discussing these, we are going to learn all characters described in general prologue one by one, and we are going to learn how they have been classified according to the medieval feudal system that can be called in 3 estates. And in this video, specifically, we are going to focus on the characters representing chivalry. We will discuss the characterization of knight and squire. Now let us discuss the structure of general prologue. In line number 24, Chaucer said that there are 29 companions, fellow pilgrim that he has along with him, and general prologue is the description of that 30 characters including Chaucer. Before describing pilgrims, Chaucer has nicely created background in first 42 lines. So there is a sort of introduction to general prologue. After that, Chaucer has created a beautiful character portrait of all characters. While describing all the pilgrims, Chaucer explained their social status, their physical description, what kind of dresses they are wearing. And in his satirical way, he has described the personality traits of that pilgrims. Chaucer has also nicely explained that how do they belong to that particular estate. Now let us discuss first 42 lines. Before I start, I would like to read some lines for you. When that April with his sure suit, the drought of March hath pierced to root, then longen folk to gone on pilgrimage. With the help of this line, you will understand this is what the beginning of English language, its modern form that we are using nowadays. This is what medieval English. In first 42 line, Chaucer has described beautiful nature in April during spring season. Chaucer has described how the weather is soothing, comfortable. West wind is flowing, and due to it, many pilgrims are motivated to go to different pilgrimages. Shrine of Canterbury is most preferred by all pilgrims, as it is the famous shrine for healing all diseases. In Canterbury, there is a famous shrine of Saint Thomas Becket, who was murdered in his own church when he was an archbishop. So he is famous for his martyrdom. After talking about the suitable time, Chaucer talks about his companion in Southwark as they are 29 pilgrims. And Chaucer says that as he has sufficient time, he wishes to describe the fellow pilgrims. Now let us read some more line about prologue. But nonetheless, while I have time and space, is that I further in this tell pace. Me, thy think, is accordant to reason, to tell you all the condition of each of them, so as seemed me, and which they were in, and what degree, and eke in what array that they were in, and at night then who'll I first begin. So he described and he explained that he is going to talk about their degree, means their social status which they belong. Along with he is going to talk about what are they wearing, what are they wearing, and what kind of persons they are. After this introductory part, the poet describes all of them one by one. For your convenience, here is the list of all pilgrims. There is knight, squire, and other pilgrims. Okay, so there is yeoman, prioress, nun, monk, friar, merchant. Along with there is a clerk from Oxford. There is a sergeant of law. A Franklin is there. Some working class people are also there in the pilgrim. So therefore there is a haberdasher, a carpenter is there, a weaver, a dyer, a tapestry maker is also there, a cook, a shipman. There was a doctor of physics, which is also known as doctor of medicine in the group of pilgrims. Famous female character, that is wife of Bath, parson of a town, plowman, reeve, mealer. There is a corrupt summoner, pardoner, manciple. And one word that has been used, that is our host. Host is Harry Bailey. Harry Bailey is the innkeeper of Tabardine, and he is the one who has organized the storytelling contest. Chaucer has very carefully depicted all three states of medieval period. There was a specific system of hierarchy in medieval period. He has picked up people from all the groups. Chaucer has also ironically depicted the clashes between different estates. We can say that General Prologue is a mirror to the 14th century society. Let's talk about first estate, which is known as clergy. There are many characters from church, like prioress, nun, monk, friar, parson of a town, and summoner. These characters throw light on the corruption in the church, which was existed in medieval period. They also depicts the control of church over other estates. The second estate, which is known as nobility. This is a group of aristocrat people, and there is a knight and a squire that represent this group. The third estate is the estate of common, which is known as the peasantry. Plowman is the best example of this estate. All other than clergy and nobility come under this group. This group comprises majority of population. Medieval period has witnessed the rise of new class estate, which was later on called as middle class. There are many people, those who stopped doing farming and entered in the new business, that is what trade and commerce. They got a little bit prosperity due to trade and commerce. So they don't belong to the group of peasantry and they can't known as the nobility. Such kind of class is known as middle class. Chaucer has chosen many characters belonging to this group and represented them very well. There is a wife of Bath, the one who is the trader of cloth. There is a reeve, Miller, a summoner is there who also belongs to the group of clergies, but along with due to his lower designation, he can be also classified under this group. Pardoner is there and Manciple is there. After talking about this, now let us discuss the characterization of knight. Chaucer starts by saying, "Knight was there, and that a worthy man." Chaucer appreciated knight and he said that he is a worthy man. We are going to learn knight on 3 parameters. The first one is his social class that he belongs, his physical appearance, his attire, and the third one is his personality traits. According to Chaucer, he is a true royal person and a worthy man. He represents nobility, that is what the group of aristocrats, and knight expresses the true chivalric spirit. He is a true Christian and a respected man in the society. He wears an armor, specifically in battle, along with a tunic. Knight is incorruptible man. He doesn't fight without any cause. Specifically, he fights only the religious wars. Some more lines are there that we have to read about knight. Full worthy was he in his lord's wear, and thereto had he right no man fire, as well in Christendom as the heathens, and ever honoured for his worthiness. There is a 20 years old son of knight, Squire, and his character is also being nicely depicted by Chaucer. He is riding on a horse. He is very energetic and athletic. He is a great lover of art. He himself is a nice singer and a dancer. He tries to impress his lovers. Along with, he also tries desperately wanted to please knight as well. He has curly hair. As he belongs to aristocrat group, he is courteous as well. As far as his physical appearance and dresses is concerned, he wears a short gown with long wide sleeves. This is what the second character, that is of the squire. Let's read some more lines about Squire. With him there was his son, young Squire, a lover and a lusty bachelor, with looks curl as they were laid in press. Of 20 years of age he was, I guess. So this is what all about general prologue. Some more session will be conducted talking about the other important characters. I would like to tell you, dear all students, till then you must read the text and try to understand it. Thank you for your patience listening. Thank you.